The rugged Ayrshire coastline, hugged by Royal Troon, home for the first time to the AIG Women's Open. These glorious links on Scotland's western shore have played host to the Open Championship 9 times and now test the finest players in the female game. Hopefuls from 32 countries, all intent on success in the first Ladies' Major of 2020. Certain big names might be absent, but so many more have journeyed here to take part in something much larger than a mere golf event. This is a major logistical triumph for everyone concerned, a can-do exercise in a year like no other, dominated by the global COVID-19 pandemic. Of course, safety and protocols are top priority, together with reminding the world that golf and sport will endure, entertain and inspire a worldwide television audience, even though sadly spectators aren't present. Royal Troon is the stage. History is in the making. How fitting it was that in a year where patience has never been a greater virtue, patience of the golfing variety was required as winds of up to 40 miles an hour whipped across these exposed links. Reputation offered no immunity to the wild conditions on day one. Lexi Thompson found the middle of the bushes on the 12th, ran up a triple bogey and would go on to miss the cut, together with many other notables, Brooke Henderson and Charlie Hull included. Last year, on her major debut, Japan's Inako Shibuno charmed everyone, conquered the Marquis course at Woburn and lifted the trophy. This time, despite delivering on the postage stamp, she also struggled. World number 2 Danielle Kang looked to be heading the same way until a brilliant burst to finish. Eagle, birdie, birdie for a respectable 76. But undoubtedly the star of the first round was American Amy Olsen. On a brutally tough day when no one else managed to break 70, Amy's aim was outstanding. Olsen defying the tempest with a superb 67. Negating her lone bogey on the third, Olsen made 5 birdies, including this virtual tap-in 2 at the 14th, in what she described as the best ball-striking round of her career. Germany's Sophia Popov was the leading European. Marina Alex was likewise one of only 3 players to dip under par, but out in front by 3 was Olsen. And I can tell you those who were praying for the wind speed to drop were disappointed, because Troon was again terrifying on a freaky Friday when golf again demonstrated what a difference a day makes. Case in point, Amy Olsen, who stumbled early and plummeted from top spot to mid-pack, courtesy of a down-to-earth 81. At least she comfortably made the cut, which fell at 9 over. Missing the cut by 3 strokes was defending champion Shibuno, unable to reproduce the wonders of Woburn. There, a smile hardly left her face. Here, blown off course by the elements, the smile, like birdies, was in short supply. Some, though, were positively relishing the challenge. Take, for instance, South Carolina's Austin Ernst, matching par somewhat fortuitously after 36 holes. Missing the green on the postage stamp is not recommended, but it worked a treat for Sweden's Anna Nordqvist. And exactly the same applied on the railway hole, the 11th, for Australia's Minjee Lee, who together with South Korea's Inbee Park shot the round of the day, 69, to force her way into serious contention for a maiden major title. Benefiting from renewed confidence after an extended lean spell, former world number 1 Lydia Ko returned to a major championship leaderboard, following rounds of 72 and 71. But the unexpected pacesetter at halfway was Daniela Holmqvist, whose fortunes slumped in conjunction with a back injury sustained in a golf cart accident in 2018. This, though, was excellent. Holmqvist, the only player to end the day under the card, despite a rather tentative putt on the 18th. 71-70, great stuff, having to battle the worst of the weather.
It was tough. Front nine was brutal. We had a lot of rain coming down, a lot of crosswinds, and I think club selection is pretty difficult too to get it right. But yeah, I think everything's been a challenge this week.
The likes of Lee and co supplied big occasion know-how. World number 304 Popov refused to go away, but Holmqvist was out in front. Finally, on day 3, the clouds parted. The sun shone on Troon, and even though wind remained a factor, the general level of scoring improved markedly as Saturday, recognised on tours around the world as Moving Day, lived up to its billing. Take, for example, Australia's Catherine Kirk, who took full advantage of the comparatively benign conditions to post an early 67. The most sparkling front nine was that produced by Kristen Gilman, here sorting out the dinky but dangerous 95-yard eighth. Gilman was out in 31 and signed for a 68. American Lindsay Weaver decided not to bring a caddy or indeed employ a local, instead content on pulling her father's 10-year-old trolley with dodgy brakes. But there was nothing dodgy about her short game. Escape pulled off, yet sand still to be self-raked. Mind you, even those scrambling skills would be strained by entanglement with heavy rough on the 12th. Everything, it seemed, was unravelling after Weaver's approach found the thick stuff, but Lindsay, with no caddy for support or to blame, was about to weave her magic. An obvious candidate for most unlikely part of the championship. Weaver would close the day 1 over, tied 4th. Lydia Ko's chances were dealt a blow when she ran up a double bogey 6 on the treacherous 10th. 2 back 9 3-putts were also galling, but at 2 over, Ko retained realistic title ambitions. Yet for overnight leader Holmqvist, the back 9 proved costly. She came home in 40 for a 77 that relegated her from pole position to a share of 19th. Trying to become the first Australian winner of the championship since Carrie Webb down the coast at Turnberry in 2002, Minjee Lee's presence on the leaderboard was ominous as a result of her second straight 69. Lee would close the day tied second with a tie. Jasmine Suwanapura, who matched Lee's 69 in moving to 1 under through 54 holes. Even so, the undisputed star of Saturday was a player who the previous week was competing in temperatures approaching 120 degrees in scorching Arizona. Troon was considerably cooler, but as this driver off the deck from 258 yards on the 4th graphically illustrated, Sophia Popov's game remained red hot. An eagle opportunity presented itself for the German. Simply superb from Sophia, who would keep a bogey off her card, hit every green in regulation, birdie the 12th, and have one more trick up her sleeve on the penultimate green. In the wake of a flawless 67, you could guess her reaction.
Extremely happy. I mean, honestly, at the beginning of the day, I said, all right, if I can just keep it together and play a solid round, something around even par. I mean, the conditions were definitely a little bit better than the previous 2 days, but they still weren't easy. We still had a lot of wind out there, so 4 unders, honestly, and bogey-free was more than I could have hoped for, and obviously makes me extremely happy.
Another German, Caroline Masson, shot 68 to share 4th, but 3 shots clear with 18 to play was surprising Sophia Popov. It wasn't exactly tropical on, by a distance, the biggest day of Popov's so far journeywoman career, but the wind was calmer and in the prevailing direction, meaning the front 9 was less daunting. Popov, remember, the world number 304, was expecting the field to snap at her heels and knew a defensive mindset simply wouldn't work. One of those off to a bright start, Momoko Ueda from Japan, rounding 68 on day 3, and in the final round, climbing to just a couple over par with a trio of birdies from the second. The first was much kinder today, and Denmark's Emily Pedersen boarded the birdie train at the first available station, nudging up to 1 over and tied third after this approach was converted. There's nothing better for the spirits than the ideal start, especially on a major Sunday. And picking up where she left off, Catherine Kirk also hit the ground running, despite slightly overshooting the opening green. Now that's the way to improve your putting statistics and, of course, your mood. Well, I'm delighted to say that joining me in commentary is Mickey Walker, a former and winning European Solheim Cup captain. So, Mickey, the leading question is this. Given her total lack of exposure to this kind of pressure, what must our leader be feeling as she strides onto the first tee?
Well, I think there's absolutely no question she will be nervous. And, you know, quite often, once you've hit the opening tee shot, especially if it's a good one, that settles your nerves. She'll be anxious to get going. She'll have had a long wait this morning. Wow. Oh, that was a little bit unlucky. The conditions so different today. The players won't be familiar with this. They'll be reaching bunkers that maybe they hadn't done previously.
Easy to go back, but also, as Ueda is showing, easier to go forward.
Thank you.
+1 now.
The players just not used to playing in these relatively calm conditions. Jennifer Song, she had a good week last week. She contended for much of the Scottish Women's Championship.
Now, Mickey, don't you just love this rhythm?
Well, she's just a fantastic golfer, isn't she? Inbee Park, a member of the Hall of Fame, a winner of 7 major championships, and that's one of the many reasons why.
So Popov couldn't go for the green in 2 after finding sand off the tee. A bogey immediately staring her in the face.
That was a good shot. She's got a chance to save power at this opening hole. And she's been so impressive, hasn't she?
You and I, Mickey, were there commentating when Inbee Park won the 2012 Evian Masters. That was a masterclass of putting, and she needs something similar today. On the greens, though, she is mustard.
Yeah, so you'd have to say one of the best putters in the world for the men's and women's game, and Sophia would like to hold this one. Well, that did everything but drop. Hasn't done much wrong there, but it's a drop shot.
Popov, career earnings on the LPGA Tour, a little over $100,000. Inbee Park career earnings, fast approaching $16 million.
The amazing thing is that she plays so little these days. That's a lovely shot, isn't it, at this one of the most famous par 3 holes in the world, the 8th at Royal Troon.
That was important. Set the tone. And she's made a shot up already.
A lot of people's favourite to win this championship. It's beautiful to watch, isn't it? It's just like everything she does, unhurried, effortless, and she looks like she's going to hold all of those putts. That's actually her husband on the bag this week.
Now here's a European golfer with bags of potential. Most certainly lots of talent, Mickey.
Yeah, she had a really torrid time after she played in the Solheim Cup in 2017. Really lost her game, but good signs that she's back to absolutely better than she was before. And if she can just improve her attitude a little bit, she gets down on herself. Now here's somebody we've been very impressed with this week. She was up and out of that putt quickly, though.
Now, as on the first, Popov missing the fairway to the left. This time, though, the lie seems okay and not a bad angle of attack. By the way, what a response that is.
And she'll get a read on that putt from her playing partner, Minjee Lee. The younger of the Korda sisters, Nelly Korda. Yeah, real talent. Lots of birdies, but spoilt a little bit by those two drop shots out in 2 under 34.
This is quite a story, and that was quite a response.
Here's a terrific young talent, Kristen Gilman, 2nd year on tour, and that's one of the reasons why she's doing so well. She won $500,000 in her first year.
Now this is the kind of putt you always anticipate in B Park knocking in. That's a rarity. Offline, incorrect pace.
We'd be quite pleased with that one, Phil, but by Imby's lofty standards, stopped that run of 4 consecutive birdies. Great outward 9, though.
And what a great performance so far from Popov. She never won on the Symmetra Tour, LPGA or LET. And yet, here she is, looking like a veteran of high-pressure situations. She only qualified for this event by finishing tied 9th in the Marathon Classic over in the States a couple of weeks ago.
Well, Emily Pedersen continuing her good form.
We've seen it so often, the outside of the underdog on a Sunday, wilting. But Popov clearly has not read that script.
She's openly said she's confident about how she's playing, but she's never been in this situation before. The further it goes towards the end of the round, the harder that it's going to be, the more pressure she's going to be under.
She was 392nd in the world rankings at the start of August.
Well, it's great to see Lydia Ko playing well again. She changed her coach earlier this year, working with Sean Foley. And that short game that she has, when she was number 1 and winning all those tournaments, one of the absolute best in the world.
We had a tie winner of this fine championship 4 years ago at Woburn, Arya Jatanagarn. Can Suwanapura emulate that performance? Not had the best of seasons on the LPGA. Her best result was right at the start of the campaign, tied 17th in Orlando.
Ooh, it just needed hitting. We've seen that so often this week. Green's quite slow, and they've had to be because of the high winds.
Yes, and this 5th hole is one of the most exposed on the entire course, hard by the Firth of Clyde. But Suwanapura has got its measure.
Another view of Lydia Ko. was a lovely iron shot, wasn't it? Dropped down to 44th in the world rankings.
The tee shot deserved a birdie. And in it goes. The gap shrinks to just a couple of shots.
Two-time winner on the LPGA Tour. Yes, beautifully done by Ko.
Traditionally here at Royal Troon, the front nine is where you make your birdies. Not this week, but now with the prevailing wind back, we're seeing flags being peppered there by the likes of Austin Ernst.
Maybe a little unlucky that that didn't actually go in the hole, but a lovely shot. Very distinct style Suvarnapura has. Look at how open she stands, drops the club inside, reroutes it, but she does the same every single time and produces shots like that. She really is playing some fabulous stuff.
As is Minjee Lee since the return from lockdown. She's been tied third in the LPGA Drive-On Championship, fourth in the Marathon Classic, and now right in the thick of things here.
She even reroutes her putting stroke. Do you see that with the stroke? She does everything the same way and doing it quite brilliantly at the moment.
Two German golfers have won on the LPGA, Sandra Gahl and Caroline Massel. By the end of today, could it be three? Could Popov hold on?
She's become a consistent money winner, Caroline Massel.
Walking off the third green, Popov enjoyed a four-shot cushion. Now that's been reduced to one, with Suvarnapura charging. Popov's immediate goal to match the ties birdie here at the sixth.
Sometimes you find when a player's out of their comfort zone, they lose their rhythm, but she's still got that lovely, brisk, aggressive rhythm, hasn't she, Popov? A bit disappointed with that. She struck it so well that she got too much backspin on it, but really, if she keeps doing that, she's going to be hard to beat.
Suvarnapura on one of my favourite holes at Royal Troon, the seventh, sheltered in between the dunes.
It's all right.
It's a good-looking hole, and that was a really good-looking shot.
Like so many of the players on the women's tour, she puts with her left hand below right. Well, and she's done it so well this week, hasn't she? Her putting's been fantastic, really has. Look at that after that opening bogey, 3 birdies.
Fist bump from boyfriend and caddy Max, who's a good golfer himself. Played for the University of Kentucky.
Well, Minjee Lee, I would say, possibly the favourite to win this championship. She's ranked 8th in the world. She's won a number of times, as we just see Pedersen missing a putt for par, and you know, she has a tendency to let things like that get her down, and you do feel if she could just improve her temperament a little bit, she would become a very consistent winner. So talented.
Now will the Suvarnapura birdie streak be maintained? You betcha. Four in a row, good anywhere, anytime, Mickey.
Yes, it certainly is, but Lydia Ko here for a birdie on 9, but you do feel with the 2 leading players making birdies that she is maybe a little bit too far back on this occasion to mount a serious challenge. Feels she had to hold that one.
Yes, I think exactly the same goes for Massel. Badly needs this, and then a really low back 9. Well, that's a start.
It's been a masterclass by Inbee Park. It really has. The damage for her was done on the opening day when she shot 77. She's been struggling to catch up, but what a great round she's having today.
Very short, the 8th, the shortest hole in major championship golf. But Suwanapura just unable to keep that birdie sequence going. Mind you, every time you walk off here with a 3, you can never be too disappointed. Those up top are yet to reach the turn, but already this has the look of a 3-horse race between Germany, Thailand and Australia. Who can put their stamp on the 8th?
It's a lovely view. That one's going well left, and that is well left. That's even missed the coffin bunker. I mean, she will have an impossible shot from where she is. She's got no green to work with. She's got that bunker between her and the green.
Now this is a hole that could really derail the leader, but she finds the heart of the green, no doubt to her great relief.
See the club wide open. Well, that was about as good as she could do from there. In fact, it was a fantastic shot just to keep it on the green. She's going to have a long putt left to save par.
Now surely not a 2 here as well for Popov. Well, there was nothing conservative about that. Gave it a good go.
She's not going to... She is. What a par that was. Incredible.
I think, Mickey, that's called course management.
Well, that was quite brilliant after such a poor tee shot.
Yet on the 11th, Ko falls further back. You get the feeling, almost inevitably now, it's not going to be her return to major championship glory. Now it's been quite around the turn for Suwanapura, and on the 11th, there's for par. That's a mistake she could ill afford. Popov now has a 2-stroke lead.
She's doing what she does really well, and this for a 66. It's a joint lowest round of the week by Inbee Park. Look at that, just that opening round that really did for her, still finishing under par afterwards, which is fabulous golf.
Fabulous is also a descriptive term for Momoko Ueda this weekend. 68-67, yes, to start off it was 275s in those brutally difficult conditions. But the way she's played over the closing 36 holes, that guarantees a top 10 finish, maybe even something a little better than that. Even so, up top, Popov remains immovable, and her 2-shot lead could possibly be about to expand, and the reason for that, having dropped a shot at the 11th, Jasmine Suwanapura faces an identical fate here at the 13th.
Well, this is a real key putt, isn't it? Drop that shot on 11. Well, that's another one. She's heading in the wrong direction. chasing pack need to put some pressure on Popov. She doesn't like this spell of holes on the golf course. She's struggled.
Ball slightly below Popov's feet there. But it makes no difference whatsoever. She is pin-seeking. This is extraordinary stuff.
Well, that was incredible. I mean, she got a little bit lucky with her tee shot there, but boy, did she take advantage of it.
Always look left, and that's really lie dependent. It could be awful in there.
Yes, if that's up against the face, she will struggle to get a stance out of the bunker. Now, can Popov increase that lead after that fabulous second shot? Well, she couldn't believe it. It wasn't anything really wrong. She just didn't see that break, and no damage done. With her nearest challenger struggling at the moment, she's just got to keep making pars. Well, she's got a stance of sorts, but it's not comfortable and it's not easy.
Great shot. Go.
She played that. You can hear her caddy Michelle saying, "Great shot." It was. That was about as good as she could do from where she was, but she's still got another one of those putts left for par.
As indeed as Gilman on the 16th. Heartbreaker. This hole now, pretty much a three-shotter. Unlike the first couple of days when it was directly downwind and everyone was getting there virtually.
What a good save that was. That really stopped the rot. She's been struggling on this back nine. That was a really good up and down.
You know, Mickey, when you consider that Popov arrived here late, had only one practice round, and she's played in only one Women's Open before this. She finished 67th 9 years ago.
It's an extraordinary story, it really is. She's doing what she's got to do. She's finding greens. The others have got to put her under pressure. She's coping with the pressure of leading a major championship absolutely brilliantly.
And bear in mind, when the LPGA resumed a little while ago, she was involved in that first tournament, the Drive On Championship, caddying for her friend Anne van Dam. Now she's carrying the hopes of sporting underdogs everywhere.
Yes, all the neutrals will be rooting for her for sure. It's a great story. She has been playing during these strange times. There's a mini tour, if you like, where players basically play for their own entry fees that runs throughout Arizona, the Cactus Tour, and she's won 3 times on that. But nothing like this.
Yes, and one of the titles on that Cactus Tour she won was at Troon North in Scottsdale. An omen or what?
It's been a good week for Austin Ernst. She's won once on the LPGA Tour, steady performer, and she's going to go away this week with a good check.
Now this can be a dangerous tee shot, the 15th. Fairway bunkers on both sides of the hole, particularly down the left, and she doesn't like this. Mickey, what a break is that?
Well, you do think, I mean, she's played absolutely wonderful golf today. She really has, but that could have ended up in the bunker, up against the face, and it hasn't. That was a real break for her.
Ahead on the green. Suwanapura, these putts have to start going in, you would think. Yeah, she's pressing. And there's meat on that bone.
Yeah, she's just lost her putting touch a little bit on the back nine, hasn't she? Well, it's not quite going to be Lydia's week, but it is good to see her challenging last week in the Scottish Women's Open, and again some good signs that she's returning to something like her best. Consolation birdie on the 17th for her.
Yes, you can't escape the feeling that the corner has been turned. Now this is a must-make. Never anywhere else.
It's interesting to see how many different ways there are of playing this game of golf, and Suvarnapura, a very distinctive, unusual style, but very effective. Now this is really interesting. You can see that cavernous bunker short of the green. She's got to avoid that. And it's lying reasonably well, but no, it's not easy. Miscue at this stage, and it could be fatal for her chances. You can see that slope throwing her back. Has she carried that bunker? Oh, that's good now. I'll tell you what, that was almost perfection.
Trying to become only the third German to win a major after Bernhard Langer and Martin Keimer.
.53 Austin Ernst, and she is a very steady performer. As I say, just one win to her credit, but she's often up there in the money.
Now, I've noticed with Popov, she takes the putter slightly on the inside. There you see.
It works pretty well, Phil, doesn't it? That was an incredible birdie from where she was, and you just feel this could be her championship. With breaks like that off the tee and then capitalising on them.
As for Ernst, she's trying to maximise earnings and making a good job of it. Tell you what, she could sell that too for a pretty penny to the three leaders.
She managed one on 17. Can she make another one on 18? It's not to be, but well, she's played some good stuff this week. Set so many records, Lydia Ko, the youngest golfer to do so many things. Won a couple of professional tournaments as an amateur, the youngest ever player to be Rookie of the Year, Rolex Player of the Year, #1 player in the world.
Now Suvarnapura holes running low. This has to find gravity. Go on. Oh yes, this story is not written yet.
26. 5 and a 4.
5 birdies against just a couple of bogeys. How expensive will those drop shots be though in the final analysis?
This back nine playing very differently than the previous days. The 16th definite 3-shotter. I feel Popov's just got to keep hitting the greens.
Yeah.
She's done just that, just what's needed at this stage.
Now one target for Minjee Lee is to achieve her best ever result in a major. Currently that's tied 3rd in the Anna Inspiration. Coachella Valley in 2017, very different conditions there.
Yeah.
But she is playing some very nice golf indeed, and surely it's only a matter of time, even if she doesn't prevail today, that she will be a major champion.
One of the most consistent ball strikers in the world of women's golf.
Come on. Come on.
I think she likes it.
Yeah, great shot, Jersey. Thank you.
Straight at it. She's got a chance.
We're on the cusp of a sporting fairy tale at Royal Troon, and after playing 3 cautious but pinpoint shots on the 16th, Popov stands over a putt for her 5th birdie of the day to further tighten her grip.
This is very distinctive, Phil, isn't it? That taking the putter inside, and boy, has she putted well this week. She really has. Oh, you think she must have nerves of steel. She's just playing her own game. She's completely within herself, not concerned about the result and what she might achieve in the next couple of holes.
And for now, with a birdie there on 16, Lee joins Sawapura in a tie for second place, but a distant second place.
Well, she could move ahead in the stakes for second if she were to hold this. Well, well done. The putter's working again. It went cold for a while as she started the back nine, but she's got it back again. Back-to-back birdies for Jasmine Sawapura.
Now, not the day that Lindsay Weaver wanted. This for par on the 18th, and for a round of 75. Disappointing, yes, but look on the bright side, Lindsay. No caddy fees.
And quite a nice check as well.
Go. Go.
Get up there.
That does the job. That's all she needed to find the putting surface anywhere.
Something extraordinary needed from Minjee Lee.
Swing there.
I don't think she likes it. Not what she was wanting. She knew she pulled it as soon as she hit it.
Now with the driver. Now the bunker on the right-hand side is definitely to be avoided, and it can be reached.
Ball, Jazzy.
It's a great finishing hole, this. It really is. Precision needed off the tee, or take something to lay up of that right-hand bunker so you can't reach it. But that one near perfect for Sawapura.
There's Max. Just hoping, praying, trying to seem calm. A couple of putts from here would be just what the doctor ordered. Not quite a gimme. I think under these circumstances, Mickey, nothing is.
No, there's some of the players out. That's Gemma Dryburgh and Nicole Brook-Larson. Great to see them out supporting Sophia. Oh, it was a good putt, but it's just going to be a par.
Not going to join the list of Australian winners of this event. Corrine Dibner, Karen Lunn, and of course, Kari Webb, the last Aussie to lift this trophy at Turnberry in 2002.
Oh, she's inching ever closer to this title. One hole left to go.
I think, Mickey, if it wasn't for the Van der Velde factor, she'd be feeling entirely bulletproof now.
Yes, as I say, there's a lot that can go wrong on this 18th hole. I'm not trying to say it will, but a lot of trouble with those bunkers and the out of bounds at the back of the green.
Soft, right there. Soft.
Little hybrid for
Yeah,
Sawapura.
perfect, Jazzy. That's money.
It's a beauty. She's played some lovely golf, hasn't she? Really, just that poor spell at the start of the back nine that's been the problem. A couple of drop shots on 11 and 13.
Over the course of the first 2 days, when the wind was in a very different direction, we saw multiple 300-yard plus drives on this hole. Not today, though, and Popov has taken the 3-wood to take the bunkers out of play. Entirely sensible.
Yeah, it's very well planned and well executed. That really gives you such a bigger landing area. Aim at that right-hand bunker and you can't reach it. Well, her pursuers really haven't done anything wrong. It's been the excellence of Popov that has put her in this dominant position coming down the 18th. Incredible performance by somebody who's never been in this position before.
Now to keep this a contest. That putt had to go in. Great line, not quite there. Overall though, Mickey, I think she'll gain an awful lot from this.
Yeah, she will. As I say, she's won a couple of times. She hasn't been this close to winning a major championship, and it's not that she's lost it, it's just that Popov has been doing so brilliantly.
Good job, Jazzy. Great playing, guys. Good job.
Now bear in mind, Popov has never won on the Symetra Tour, the second division tour in the States. She's never won on the LPGA Tour. One top 10 there, and she's never won on the Ladies European Tour. And here she stands on the verge of being a major champion. Just one more good swing.
I think she's just got to avoid those bunkers round the green. Oh, she's telling it to sit, and that is why it was heading straight for one of those bunkers. I think she's okay about that.
Realistic goal for Minjee Lee. A birdie here to get into a tie for second. Birdies from there aren't commonplace.
No, it was a rare poor iron from Minjee Lee, but this hole, it's all about one person, and that is Sophia Popov. What a championship she has had. She's been aggressive from the word go, she really has. She's kept her rhythm, she's kept her belief, her putter has worked brilliantly. She's been an absolute pleasure to watch. Incredible from someone, as you were saying, Phil, she hasn't yet won on a major tour or come close to winning. Now this is a very wise decision. If she gets this on the green, really, she's going to be the champion.
And there it is. I think the engraver can confidently start working.
I think she can start to enjoy the moment. Beautifully prepared course this. The players have been fulsome in their praise of it, saying it's one of the best, if not the best course, best presented courses that they've ever played on.
Just cozy this up to the hole and the job is done. There's the champion, and now the realisation has dawned. I think this is the golfing story of the year for me, Mickey.
I agree. I think it's just absolutely fabulous. A couple of weeks ago, she wasn't even in this championship. She came here at the last minute because she played in the Symetra Tour event last week, finished second in that. Hasn't had much chance to have a practice round. It's Minjee Lee trying to finish off, but sadly that's going to be a drop shot by her on the last, but it's incidental to who the champion is going to be here this week.
Yes, Lee will be third, but there's no doubt who is number one. Mickey, what a display.
I thoroughly enjoyed watching Sophia Popov. Really has been a wonderful week, a wonderful winner, a real fairy tale if ever there was one.
Yes, a true champagne moment, even without crowds. Plenty of friends to share a glorious moment.
So proud of you guys.
And I suppose after years of perseverance, we can say the cork really is out of the bottle. Amazing, astounding, astonishing. An outcome to inspire underdogs everywhere. The German prevails by 2 shots and secures a life-changing victory.
winner of the AIG Women's Open is Sophia Popov.
Walking on air, our champion collects a first prize of $675,000 and lifts the coveted trophy, a triumph of will and unswerving determination. In these circumstances, anyone would be emotional.
It feels amazing. There's a lot of hard work behind it and a lot of struggles that I went through the last 6 years, especially health-wise. And I'm just glad I was able to overcome everything and, keep my head in it. I knew I was capable. I had a lot of obstacles thrown in my way, and I'm glad I stuck with it. I almost quit playing last year, so thank God I didn't.
She arrived unheralded from the deserts of Arizona and leaves the Ayrshire coastline cradling the silverware, the lowest ranked player on the world list to ever win a ladies' major. That's Sophia Popov, the 2020 AIG Women's Open champion. From the historic links of Royal Troon, where Sophia was truly sensational, it's goodbye.